What's up guys, welcome back to another video of Island Gaming with Jay. Today let's talk about how Sony is crying again to the CMA. Cry, cry little baby, cry no more. But before we do that, don't forget to like and subscribe and hit that notification bell. Let's go. So discussions around the merger of Microsoft and Activision is heating up. And despite Phil Spencer and Xbox promising that Call of Duty won't be leaving the PlayStation 5 for some time now, Jim Ryan still insists to throw salt into the eyes of Xbox and Phil Spencer, crying to the CMA, letting them know that this deal is unfair on all levels. So what exactly is Sony trying to convince the CMA? Take note of what was recently released by the CMA, what Sony said. It reads, SIE told the CMA that even if COD games remain available on PlayStation following the merged entity would still be able to engage in partial foreclosure by increasing the differentiation between the versions of COD available on the Xbox and on PlayStation. According to SIE, gamers may expect COD on Xbox will include extra content and enhance interoperability with the console hardware, in addition to any benefits from membership in XGP. SIE submitted that these factors are still likely to influence gamers' choice of console. So in other words, what Sony is saying here is that they don't care about that commitment that Phil Spencer and Microsoft made to them. They are claiming that if the merger is to go through, gamers would migrate to Xbox. And for the most part, I agree with Jim Ryan and Sony. Gamers should migrate to the Xbox, because why pay $70 for a game that they want to play when they could just pay $15 a month? That makes sense to me. But what is hypocritical on Sony's part is that this is the same model that they have been using for years. Take for example this list that you're seeing here. This was tweeted out by Linus Tech Tips, and he really basically encapsulates the irony of what Sony is trying to claim and what Sony is crying about. They for years benefited from exclusives of Call of Duty, but now they are complaining that Microsoft might make certain things exclusive. Isn't that hypocritical? But Phil Spencer and Microsoft, they are not sitting down while Sony cries like a baby. Notice what Phil and them said. In short, Sony is not vulnerable to a hypothetical foreclosure strategy, and the referral decision incorrectly relies on self-serving statements by Sony which significantly exaggerate the importance of Call of Duty to it and neglect to account for Sony's clear ability to competitively respond. While Sony may not welcome increased competition, it has the ability to adapt and compete. Gamers will ultimately benefit from this increased competition and choice. Yes, heal boy, heal, heal, heal Phil, heal. Yes, so what Phil is saying here is that compete Sony, compete. For years, this is what you have been doing. You can compete, adjust and compete to what is going on right now in the gaming industry. PlayStation right now are the market leaders. They have the mind share of the majority of the world and the majority of the gamers. They can produce something that could rival Call of Duty, but they need to compete instead of crying. But they didn't stop there. This is again is what Phil and Microsoft said. Should any consumer decide to switch from a gaming platform that does not give them a choice as to how to pay for their new games, PlayStation, to one that does, Xbox, then that is the sort of consumer switching behavior that the CMA should consider welfare enhancing and indeed encourage. It is not something that the CMA should be trying to prevent. Easy boy, not the CMA too, easy. Woo! Phil is not playing, man. Anybody could get that smoke. So what Phil is saying is that the CMA, instead of trying to defend Sony, should be encouraging gamers having a choice. You see, gamers having a choice how they want to pay for their new games should be encouraged, whether they want to pay and buy the physical edition or they would rather play their new titles via a new type of subscription service. So choice is always better. So what you guys think? You think that Phil is wrong and PlayStation is right, or do you think PlayStation is being absolute hypocrites because they would have benefited from exclusive titles also? Let me know what you think in the comment section below. Like and subscribe for more videos. And don't forget, that dog does bite, eh?